Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. Let's continue review of this week's triplets. They are not exactly lookalikes because they don't share any of the visual elements as pictograms, but they share the structure, which is this triplet structure of one on the top and the same thing repeated twice at the bottom. Have this triangle shape of things comes in threes. So the first one is plant and pronounced as hui, made of three this sun-facing, upward-reaching grass symbol. And because grass often comes in clusters, so when Chinese simplify grass, we often just use two of them to mean multitudes of those. But when we have a three, there's a special dimension added that's more diverse. It's not just one type of plant that's of the same type of plants, but it can mixing. It gives you a more three-dimensional view of the plants, and it creates a visual as well as implying the meaning of the ecosystem of the plants growing together, cohabiting, right? And this hui in later days was streamlined, just like many of the Chinese went through this process of rectangularizing or straightening. So those upward turning curves, this implying or depicting the leaves growing toward the sun got flattened out, like become horizontal lines, and it looks like our number 10, but has nothing to do with it. And the bottom, this originally like two of those got connected by this one longer horizontal line. So that's hui. Then we have three humans stacking up together. And this human got a little more intricacy than as simple as just three humans grouped together. That's an easy, straightforward explanation of what crowd will look like, right? Multitudes of those, but it's more than multitudes. These are people that are oriented toward the same, toward the left. And later on, the whole story about, in that episode, I talked about how originally it was the sun on the top. So humans, farmers working together, collaborating through farm field. That's a peaceful look of how society used to be. And when the Qin dynasty tried to centralize China, tried to control the whole vast piece of land and diverse cultural groups that had different writing systems, speaking is even more different. They switch out the sun symbol with the eyeball symbol. And I forgot to mention that originally eyeball and the sun, with just one horizontal line difference, actually in Chinese mythology probably share a commonality there, because we had this mythological figure, 盘古, that's our ancient, I guess, world creator. So that's the Chinese version of creator, that this person, I guess we personified this ancient creator as a human figure and male figure. And then the eyeballs, two eyes of that world creator, one turned into sun, the other one the moon. I mean, how convenient, right? But from the beginning, the imagination of humans on Earth to explain where we came from, this ancient question, that story was made, I guess, mythology. And so this eye symbol connected with celestial sun or moon, so critical to our existence, our sense of time and space, was associated with eye in this mythology. So that shows that this language from the beginning picture the eye somewhat related to such energy source or the big object in the sky. And I'm not sure, like other cultures may also view this circular thing hovering day or night would be associated with human eyes if there was any connections there. But that's one other explanation. So when this transition happened, switch out the sun to eyeball, that signified the supervision, the centralized power controlling, overseeing people under this eye. That was, I guess, mythologically supported, approved of this switching. It was not like so groundless, and there were such connection before. So, but nonetheless, this change shows us that how language originally created in a certain way, and later different factors, especially power, came in, try to tweak the picture to place the ruler's eyeball basically there. And that was inherited to traditional Chinese, and simplified Chinese simplify it out, simply place this triangle structure of 3 humans repeated 3 times. All right, so the difference is this eye removal in simplified now. And then we have 3 cows or bulls together that create a kind of a motion picture effect of stampede, like many of them running together in probably all kinds of directions. And you would probably feel the earth shaking if you stand near. That's stampede. And that originally came from the 3 cows stacking up together. And that was lost in simplified Chinese. Chinese simplified version use the first one, that's plants, and add a big human figure thing with 1 horizontal line cross on top of the plants as a replacement of this 3 bulls running together imagery. And Chinese use the stampede as equivalent of English hamster running on a wheel or rat race sense, that humans, we were programmed as if we were cows or bulls that move through life, keeps running in all kinds of directions and chances, and somehow also have this herd mentality, right? Run together, and you're afraid to be left behind, things like that, right? So Chinese use 奔 a lot in our expression to express this hustle and bustle. All right, so the horns of the cow, just like the plants, the leaves, those curves got flattened out, but somehow preserved its curve by adding the dots on the side. So that become our contemporary cow or bull symbol. And the next one is 3 mouths together. And that made a concept of type, personality, character, or taste. And we also have some interesting expressions used, created with this character, 品. And this mouth symbol was started as this cooking pot with the handles here. And contemporary reverse that handle, put them at the bottom. So we don't get to see that part, and probably that's a trivial, like nobody cares. But this association with eating with the mouth, and eventually use the mouth to symbolize people's voices, opinions, or taste, eventually, like repeatedly tasting something. And that becomes our type, kind of a differentiating. When we group something, multitudes of them, either it's people or pot. If it's the same, similar looking thing, and then it falls onto individuals to discern among them, to tell from people to people, right? We all have the basic hardware, same set, but the mindset can be hugely different. All right. And Jing crystal was made from this cluster of solars. So we have 3 suns stacking up together. So that just shows you the stars. And if that's true, that ancient Chinese creators already connect the dot of the sun. So big and bright in our sphere, in our life, everyday life, in our solar system, because it's a solar, right? Is actually one of those many twinkly things in the night sky. They are the same thing. I mean, if they connected that dot, that's awesome insight. And this crystal was borrowed the sense of this twinkling behavior of the stars to symbolize or to transfer that quality of this reflective, sparkly nature of crystal. So here the bottom used to be curved, now it's straightened out. And chu, this last one, made of 3 straight symbols. Straight is kind of abstract, right? So Chinese use eyeball and this direct vision to mean you see something straight. And this something is this ground symbol, bottom left corner to mean the ground. And we observe the ground without the blocking of the eyesight. And by adding this horizontal line was literally blocking it to actually emphasizing that we're seeing something without a blockage. And 3 of those to create this vertical visual to show you not only see something straight, you see vertically straight, and you can see as far, I guess, go as straight as far as your eyes can see. That level of distance as well as the direction is vertical. That create a concept of loft. And as you can see, we attach the bottom left corner connected to this eyeball and make it into, so currently this eyeball is a box with 2 horizontal lines, right? So 4 horizontal lines. By connecting this bottom, we have to attach 1 more horizontal line at the bottom and have to connect here by the side, right? So that's how it was transformed. The later days, I can hardly see eyeball here. It's simply a stack of ranks. It's more like a ladder for me than an eyeball. But I'm glad that now I know of this straight C symbolizing straight. All right, so we have 会重奔品经处 for this week's, and we can see we get rid of the eyeball, we straighten out the leaves or the horns to make it horizontal, and we kind of get rid of the pot handles and instead keep them at the bottom of the pot. Doesn't make sense. I don't know why that changed. And then the sun symbol or the solar or the stars got from this round to totally a box image, and we kind of get rid of the floating part of this bottom left ground symbol, connect that and get rid of this tiny vertical thing to make this bottom left corner concept. Get rid of that, make it a straight line, attach it to the eyeball. Lots of transformations for the sake of efficiency, standardization, but later days it took so much digging to find out each one. And here is a giant birds of paradise, because I'm trying to think of lofty plants, some oversized towering plants, and that's not trees. So this is an example of that. 会重奔品经处. That's this week. We have some more for the next week. So thank you for your time. See you another week.